to the Diamond Niner Gals podcast for week 3 of the 2024 season. I'm Nick, joined as always by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad making all this work.
Hey.
The HSC head coach, Ashley Chastain.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And check this neat trick out. I always say last but never least, but Coach Ashley's not last because just for fun, we are going to throw in sophomore pitcher, Lena Elkins. What's up, Lena?
Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. Now there's 5 of us in here. What this is I don't know. This is not a first, but it's the first for this season, so we're excited about doing it. We're gonna talk through the week, but after the events of this weekend, we had the opportunity to get Lena Elkins on here for her first appearance, and we took that. And so from talking to Lena a little bit before that, sounds like she's got some grocery shopping to do. So we're going to move her up to the front part of the show, talk to Lena a little bit, and then get her off to go get something to eat, because throwing no hitters makes you hungry. So, or I would imagine it does. I don't know. It's not like I've ever thrown a no hitter, but
I was hungry. Very.
All right, cool. Well, Lena, thanks for making time for us. You are straight out of Nitro, West Virginia. We had this whole conversation last year. We actually declared you the best pitcher to ever come out of Nitro, West Virginia. And then someone out there, a listener, dug up a World Series MVP from 1957. It hails from Nitro, West Virginia. But still, we're sticking with you being the most famous pitcher from Nitro, West Virginia. Are you good with that?
Totally fine with me.
Okay. I think we're sticking with it because I've already forgotten the other guy's name. So we're going with Elkins. So, Lena, we want to step back and let's go back and talk about your career as a softball player. When I say your career as a softball player, I mean all the way back. Do you remember what age you were when you first started playing softball?
Yes. So I was, I think 10 years old when I started playing softball. I didn't start pitching till I was 11, but I started playing when I was 10.
Now, Coach Ash, is that number, that seems like for a lot of the players we talked to, 10 seems like a little bit of a late start. Yes?
Maybe. Lena played all kinds of sports growing up. That was one thing that really impressed us with her in the recruiting process, that she played basketball, soccer. I think she ran track. Did you play volleyball? I'm just remembering all the things that you did in high school. So I don't know, maybe she was already playing a sport before 10, and then she just picked up softball at 10. But she's definitely been a multi-sport athlete her whole life, and that was one of the things that we really liked about her when we were recruiting her.
Kevin, even if 10's a late start, I don't think it hurt her.
No. From talking previously last year about her other sports, it sounds like she's phenomenal at the other sports also, even in high school level. So that's very impressive.
Thank you.
What was your favorite sport if we take softball off the table? What was your favorite sport?
Oh, it's a tough one. I really liked soccer and basketball a lot. I kind of did volleyball on the side. I didn't really play it, but I liked playing it as another thing to do with my friends. But I probably, I don't know, maybe basketball? I don't know. It's a hard decision. Probably basketball, though.
What about pickleball?
Pickleball, oh gosh. That was very interesting. I actually did like it more than I thought I would, because I'm not good at tennis, and I thought it was kind of like tennis, which I guess it is. But I enjoyed it though. It was really fun. They played together as a team.
Coach Ash, that's the event that you ran away with, yes?
Yes, it is. I think Lena might have missed that detail. She's going to leave that part out. But Lena, did CJ and I play you guys and you and your partner in the tournament?
You unfortunately did not get to play us. We did play Corey and Lexi Wagner, and they were very good. I think we had to beat them to get to you all, and we did not beat them. So
yeah. Didn't remember playing you in the tournament, but
Yeah.
It's all a blur, right? All that the winning was a blur.
yeah, it was. The whole thing went really fast. Yeah.
So for those of you that missed this, was this 2 weeks ago? Ashley, we were talking about you guys doing a team outing to go play pickleball.
Yeah, I think it might have been the first episode. It might have been 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Right before we got going on the season, we did a team tournament down in South Charlotte at the pickleball courts one day instead of practicing. And it was a lot of fun. It was really competitive. And a lot of us had never played before. So we had to learn the rules. And it's a really fun game. It's actually the fastest growing sport in the US right now. And I think after playing it for a couple hours with the gals, I can see why people like it so much. It's a lot of fun.
Lena, she did not forget to mention that she won. She did not forget to mention that the other week. But.
Hey, they were good.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give it to them. They were good.
So going back to softball, we got off in a little bit of a tangent there, but that's what we do on this show. It's why it's fun. So you're playing softball by 10. You're pitching by 11. Was softball, like, you're playing all these sports, did softball like immediately emerge for you, like this is my sport? Or how long did it take you to figure out, yeah, I'm a softball player?
Yeah, so I was mostly like really into basketball and soccer around 10 years old. Like I played soccer for, I think, since I was like probably 5 or 6 or whatever. But I think I started really falling in love with it when I got to middle school, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of became my big, because I started playing travel ball. I think, sorry, I'm trying to think back.
I know it's so long ago, Lena.
Yeah, it was really
forever. Like,
yeah.
We were talking about this for a show like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was playing mostly soccer and basketball. I really wasn't focused on softball a whole lot, like in elementary school. And then it's just like when I started, like I started playing when I was like 10, I was like, I kind of like the sport a little bit more than I like soccer and basketball. So I told my mom and dad, I was like, I want to play travel. Like I want to play more. I want to play during the summer. So we got me on the travel ball team and I played during the summer and I just fell in love with it and stuck with it. So, yeah.
So what about, like, how do you remember, I'll phrase it this way, do you remember the first time that you were contacted by a college and they were like, hey, I'm with XYZ softball and we'd like to talk to you? Do you remember that process?
I was actually before they changed like the recruiting around. I think I remember when I went to camps, I think it was like my 8th grade year. That was like, I think like right before they changed the rules, like where you had to be, I think you can only be like a junior in high school, they can talk to you. So I talked to a few college coaches, like going to camps, I could talk to them, and I went on like kind of like I guess like unofficial visit kind of thing at a couple of them. But that was it really though. But yeah. Mm-hmm. What
about the first time you remember hearing from someone at Charlotte?
The first time I heard from Charlotte was September 1st. I really didn't know anything about the program. But Coach Ash called me on September 1st and I think it was my very first call, actually. Yeah. And she just started talking to me about it and everything, about the program. We talked, I offered, but then after that I went like a deep dive. My mom actually did a really deep dive in on it. And we looked at all the stuff on Coach Ash and just Coach Taylor, and just, there was so much, they've done so much like good things at other places, and just seeing that background and like how they improve, like how she improved pitching staffs at all the schools she went to previously. It was just like amazing. And I was like, I want to be developed in college. So that was a big thing for me looking at that. But yeah.
Go ahead, Kevin. I'm trying not to step on you this week.
Okay. Well, so you're in the recruiting process. You take the first visit to Charlotte, I'm assuming. Take us back to that official visit or unofficial visit when you first came to Charlotte.
Yeah. I think we did the unofficial visit. Was it November? Correct. I can't remember exactly. Or no, I committed in November.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of when. Because it was during COVID. It was the next September, right? Next September. So 20.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I remember correctly,
Mhm.
Lena, I'm trying to think about it in my head too. You committed in like the November
Yeah.
month because I remember actually where I was when you called me to commit.
Yeah.
You didn't commit right away. You sat on the offer for a little while and really thought through it and made the decision. And I was sitting in my car in the parking lot about to go in for a dinner somewhere, and you called me and committed. That was November, late October, November of would have been 21, I think, maybe 2021.
Yeah.
And we recruited you. That was the time where COVID was, we still had different protocols. And so I don't think you came on a visit until after you committed, and you came on your official visit with your class the next fall, I believe.
Okay. That's what I was thinking too. I couldn't remember exactly. Okay, it's like I committed November, like middle November. I think it was the 18th actually. I remember just now. November 18th is when I committed. And then next year went on the official with everyone. And it was really cool. I got to stay with one of the girls on the team, and they just we went out for ice cream with a few other girls, and they had also some of the girls that were on the unofficial or official visit too. And we had a really good time. I just got to meet players on the team, and they just told me about their experiences, and it was all good things. And just that was really good to hear, coming on a visit. But it was a really cool experience, and the football game was awesome. But yeah, just a fun weekend in Charlotte. But
So, Coach Ash, she made you wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking back on it, Lena. I think we offered in 2020. So I think it was the fall of 2020 coming out of the pandemic. And you committed in like November of 2020. And then the next fall would have been the fall of 21. You came on your visit with your class. And then the next fall of 22 is your freshman fall. And I think that was what it was. It's kind of those 3 consecutive offer, commit, visit, and then you're on campus as a freshman. So, but yeah, I really liked Lena from the start. I mean, I talked to her coaches. We watched her play as much as we could during that COVID recruiting segment. So we would watch her virtually. I watched her some in person that fall where we could actually go out recruiting some. And her coaches had nothing but great things to say about her. She worked with a guy named Tim Fouts, actually, was her pitching coach, and she still sees him when she goes home. But that is Montana Fouts' dad, the pitcher at Alabama that most people, and if you're a college softball fan, you know the name Montana Fouts. Her dad, Tim, was Lena's pitching coach. So I talked a lot with him about Lena and her coaches for the Georgia Impact. And, we got to watch her throw some that fall. So it was a kind of a different recruiting experience because we were dealing with COVID, but I was really drawn to Lena from the start and really connected with everything that the coaches said about her. So we were really excited when she committed. And then there was kind of that, that wait time when someone commits and then they sign and then they get to campus. And so it kind of felt like a really long time before Lena was able to be on campus with us, but obviously she's made a huge impact on our program so far. And, I believe her best is still yet to come in her career. So the sky's the limit. And it's been a lot of fun developing her. And, Lena's just very consistent with her approach. You kind of always know what you're going to get with her training. She takes it super serious. She works really hard. She was a great addition to the team. And I think this year, and her and I have talked about this recently, she's just kind of taking a lot of steps forward right now in her game. And that's both mentally and physically. So it's been really rewarding to see her take those steps.
I want to take you back a little bit to your high school days. Just looking at your bio here, your second team All-State in soccer, won a state championship in basketball. playing these other sports, what do you take from these other sports and bring it to the softball diamond and in the circle specifically?
Yeah, I think it's helped a lot. Like, trying to find, definitely like with conditioning. Well, throughout high school and like when I played travel ball and everything, I think it helped like with conditioning, like just playing from. I went from like one sport to the other in high school, so it was like soccer, basketball, softball, and I just think all the sports helped a lot with like my conditioning and just staying fit. I always like to be doing something anyway, so just like staying active was like good for me, just to like always be doing something. But I think it definitely helps in the circle a lot, just like being able like to move out, like getting my legs moving out, all that stuff. But yeah, I think playing multiple sports has made a really big impact and helped me a lot with pitching, definitely. And when I did hit, it helped with hitting as well. But yeah.
Well, Coach Ashley mentioned your impact as soon as you arrived on campus, and you did. You made an impact immediately as a freshman, and you know it's always great to see somebody make that transition, because I mean that's a difficult step to take coming out of high school at any level and transitioning into D1. What do you think it is that made you so capable of making that transition and then contributing right away as a freshman last year?
Yeah, I think travel ball, we like my summer coming in from travel ball, we played a very tough schedule, and we played like our coach wanted to play like the best of the best during summer ball, and we did. And I think that helped a lot. We played like girls that were going like to Power 5 schools, and just I was mostly our ace on our travel ball team, so I pitched a lot. But just facing those batters and like getting that experience, I think helped a lot too. And just even prepping throughout the fall with Coach Ash, and then facing our hitters as well helped a ton as well. Just like because we had really a lot of good hitters last year, and just working through that throughout the fall and then preseason, facing them helped a lot too. But yeah.
Along those same lines, who is the toughest batter you faced on our squad? I know they're listening, so keep that in mind. But our squad and who you faced on those squads, toughest hitter you faced.
Yeah, I think on our squad, I mean, we have a lot of good hitters. I think, I don't know, some of them are scary in the box after like the things they've been changing around or whatever with hitting, like the what's it called again, motor preference stuff. The way they just look big in the box, like Ella Chansey, she's someone that's scary to throw to, definitely, and Ari Rhodey as well. But yeah, what was the other part of the question? I didn't hear the whole thing. Sorry.
On other teams,
teams. Oh yeah.
Your toughest batter you faced in your college career, or could be high school or travel ball career.
Yeah. Definitely last year, my freshman year, I think Washington they were just a powerhouse. They had a lot of good hitters. They were tough outs. Clemson as well, they were tough. Florida State this year, their whole lineup is just like they're really good power hitters. They hit the ball hard, put it in play. On like 0-2 counts, they're fighting. They're always fighting in the box. Like you just, but yeah, I think probably the biggest one, definitely Florida State, is probably the top one that I think was toughest. Mm-hmm.
I guess since you mentioned Clemson there, this would be as good a place as any to go ahead and throw in that you guys are going to hook up with the Tigers, I believe, Wednesday at the Sioux. So if you're out there watching this and you're in the local area, maybe think about getting to the Sioux on Wednesday. What time is that game, Ashley?
Is it 4?
4.
4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these early. That's a little tough, but it's early season. With it's cold out there, so get out to the Sioux at 4:00. Tell your boss you're sick. Whatever it is you got to do, and get out to the Sioux. Which, by the way, I think the right field bleachers are a hit, guys. What do y'all think?
I thought so. I thought the crowd was great all weekend, and I thought the outfield bleachers were fairly full. And I thought to myself, if you take all those people and you put them behind home plate, with as packed as it was behind home plate, I think it would have been really crammed. So it was nice to kind of see people be able to spread out some. And I think as the weather improves, it gets warmer. We start playing later in the evenings. It'll be easier for people to get to the Sioux. I think that we're going to pack it out, especially some of our conference series on Friday nights and Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Lena. So let's break this down. We've talked about your journey to Charlotte, and we talked a little bit about you making an impact last year, and in doing so, it was early in your freshman year. You throw a no-hitter. In fact, it was February 17th of 2023. You throw a no-hitter as a freshman. We have, I guess, the closest we've come, Kevin, is we interviewed Matt Brooks after he took a no-hitter 8 2/3. So we've never actually interviewed someone who's tossed a no-hitter before. And we have definitely never talked to anyone that's thrown 2 no-hitters. Because if you're not paying attention, and if you're watching this show, you probably are, but Lena did it again. She not only did it again, she did it on February 17th, 2024. She has now thrown 2 no-hitters on the same day, exactly 1 year apart. So let's talk a little bit about the psychology of a no-hitter. Can we do that?
Yeah.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I just walk us through.
Yeah.
You get out of the first inning, but that's what you want to do. But when do you start thinking about this, or do you start thinking about it?
Well, I was not thinking about it at first. Like the first 2 innings or first 3 or 4 innings, I was kind of felt like I was just rolling the whole time. Like I was sticking to my routines. We were getting all the ground balls and everything. Everyone was doing what they needed to do. We were scoring. I wasn't really honestly paying attention. I did end up looking up there in the 6th inning, and I was like, "Oh, I just ruined this." But I just kept telling myself just stay locked in, don't worry about it. And if it were to happen, it doesn't matter, just stay, be where you are, be present. But yeah.
So you got all the 6.
You said what? Sorry.
Just checking, Kevin. You got all the way to the 6th inning before realizing that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just checking. All right, go ahead.
Did your teammates start acting weird around? Did you notice they were acting strange towards you, not speaking to you or avoiding you when you got towards the 6th inning? Is that what made you look at the scoreboard?
They actually weren't. They weren't acting weird or anything at all. I think they knew too, so they weren't they were just being normal with me and joking around or something, or just saying stupid stuff in the dugout. But no one was acting weird. I mean, you couldn't even tell. You just couldn't tell if it was a no hitter or not. But it was just a normal game. Yeah.
Ashley, you've been around the game a long time. Is that maybe a cultural difference between baseball and softball? Because when a guy's got a no-hitter going in baseball, things start getting weird because that guy ends up sitting by himself and no one will even go talk to him.
Yeah. I think everyone was acting a little weird and funny about it, just not in front of Lena. So as someone that was in the dugout, but that was not Lena, I think everyone, when Lena would turn around, everyone would make a face start being weird. So she probably just didn't realize that people were talking about it. But whenever she wasn't around, I think people were, starting to catch the vibe that we were going to make this happen. And, at one point down where I was at the end of the dugout, someone kind of started to hint at it, and I looked at him. I'm like, "Don't verbalize it. Don't say it. She's gonna do it. Don't say anything about it." But no, it's a big deal, and it's a testament to the work that she's put in. I think that Lena's been able to really dial in and make really big changes in her development from her freshman year to her sophomore year. And we talked about this, like, she got a lot of great experience as a freshman and had some success for us, and obviously came back year two with bigger expectations, wanting to have a better year in the circle than she had her freshman year. And so I think that's hard to do. I think when she came back from the summer and we got started in August, I mean, you could just tell that she was like ready to do whatever it took to get better. And, there were peaks and valleys of that through the fall as you're making changes. And, as we've discussed, we really invested in the pitching development this year for all 7 of our pitchers on staff. And I think Lena's really benefited from that, because I think, her ball flight and everything she brings to the table is better than it was as a freshman. And I think that's just really cool to say, that she's a better pitcher than she was year one, and it's year two. And, she's going to continue to get a lot of really great opportunities for us and big moments. And so I was not surprised, at all that, she threw a no hitter on Saturday night. And, but I'm with her every day. So like, I know the work that she puts in and how serious she takes all of this. And, but it's just really rewarding. It's cool to see when it happens. That's just something that the team celebrates pretty heavily. I know it'll be talked about, I'm sure, again tomorrow at practice. It was all over social media the last couple of days. And, but she worked hard for it, and she earned it and deserves all the recognition for it. And I'm going to take a gander here and say it probably won't be the last time that we're talking about Lena Elkins throwing a no-no.
Right.
So Lena, Kevin's going to know where I'm going with this. When we were in the stands, talking about the superstitions around this, when we were in the stands, Matt Brooks going 8 2/3. Kevin, do you remember what inning it was that you declared that you needed to go to the restroom?
I don't know.
It was at the 6th?
Yeah, probably. But all I know is you wouldn't let me go to the restroom for like two or three innings.
I would not let him go. I'm like, you're not going. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right there. I wouldn't let him go. And it got all the way down to the last out. And so, yeah, that was what was happening there. So I don't know what your teammates were doing while you weren't looking, but on the other side of Phillips Road, when that happened, I was not letting Kevin leave his seat, and he desperately wanted to. And I'm like, no, this will be all your fault. So that's kind of what we were going through. So
actually, you did mention this. No hitters are kind of like a team thing. And this question is for both of you guys. In every no hitter, there's great defensive plays. There's at least one or two that come to mind. Tell us a couple of defensive plays that you can remember from that game that helped preserve the no hitter.
Let me go ahead.
Lena, I'll let you start since you were the one out there.
Yeah. The ones there was a ball. I think it was. I forgot what inning it was, but there was a ball. It was kind of hit. I thought it was, honestly, at first I thought it was going over the fence, and I said, "Oh gosh," but I guess the wind got a hold of it or something. But I think it was Kayla or Kaya, and she just like came over and ran, and she just was running so fast after, and she caught it, but she was all the way in right field where Kaya was at, and she just caught it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I thought that was a really key play. And then just the whole, honestly, every play was important, but I just think after the game before, I think we did a really good job of resetting, and there was like nothing that got by the infield or the outfield. So, but definitely that one where Kayla caught the ball in the outfield was one I can remember.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just take the opportunity to really shout out the entire team defensively all weekend. We had 2 games against Boston and 2 games against Canisius, and, Lena threw the no-hitter in the second game against Canisius. And so I thought we played really great defense all weekend. We've really played great defense since we started. That's kind of been, I think, the MO of this team so far, is that we've pitched really well and we've played great defense. I agree with Lena. There was a ball in the right center gap that Kaya made a really great catch on. There was a communication ball that Kayla caught over Kaya in kind of shallow right field. Corey Hoffler just always stands out to me defensively. Even if she doesn't have a chance to make a play, she affects our defense a lot. She's kind of our anchor defensively at second. She makes a lot of decisions. She communicates on a lot of different plays. And so she kind of is our commander in chief of making sure everyone's in the right spot and the cuts are really good. I think our cuts and our relay system has been impeccable since we've started season. We've worked really hard on that in the off season. So I'm just going to shout out the whole defense. I think Raina and Winnie have caught really well since we started. I know Lena feels the same way. And, when your catcher is giving you a ton of confidence just to keep throwing the ball in the zone, that's a really big deal as a pitcher. So Raina caught you for the no-hitter, right, Lena?
Yeah, she got the whole game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think my answer is probably Raina is the highlight defensively, other than Lena throwing the no-hitter. I've just been so impressed by the opportunities that she's gotten to get behind the plate and catch for us here at the start, the first 2 weeks. So I think Raina would be the highlight. I mean, she looks really well. She doesn't look like a freshman behind the plate. And so I think she's really stepped up and is doing a really good job.
Yeah, she did awesome behind the plate. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked this up. February 17th, 2025 is a Monday. So, there could be like a rain, maybe rain or something involved that gets a game moved back to Monday. I don't know how that happens. But either way, Lena, I think next February 17th, you should go buy a lottery ticket.
I definitely will.
Yeah. I mentioned this. We were talking about this before we started recording. I talked to a mathematician today, a mathematician that's a former D1 softball player. And we started discussing what the likelihood of someone doing what you did was. And we didn't get down into specific numbers. We were kind of discussing it theoretically, but we got down way, way, way under 1%. To do what you did twice, let alone on the same day in back-to-back years. So next February 17th, you should definitely go buy a lottery ticket because the chances will probably be better of you winning that lottery than doing what you've already done. So that's really cool. Now, I asked a question on Twitter, and I didn't really get a good answer. So I think it's time to revisit this.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Either Lena Elkins has an awesome nickname and we just don't know about it, or it's time to get Lena Elkins a nickname. We've got the Sassy Pony. So what's yours?
I honestly don't know. I've been called like so many different things. I don't know if nothing's just like stuck, but do you have any, Coach Ash, that you know about that I don't? I'm not sure.
Well, when you throw, Lena, you're so in the zone that I don't know if you really hear the dugout or the crowd. But our team, when Lena is in the circle, has started calling her Nitro.
Oh, gosh.
Just Nitro.
So just Nitro. Mm-hmm. Which, she's from Nitro, West Virginia, but, she's also, finds another gear when she's on the field. So there's a lot of metaphors in there, and I love it. They've really started to do that, and they didn't do that as much last year. That's kind of a this year thing, and it's been really fun to hear them in the dugout yelling Nitro.
I kind of like that. I kind of like it.
Well, it sounds like we got something started here.
Hashtag Nitro.
I think that's a thing now. I think it's already a thing. I think we just found out about it. So now we can maybe make it an even bigger thing. No, it's perfect. I mean, it's simple. It's to the point. It has multiple meanings. It's great. I love it. It's Nitro Elkins.
Nitro Elkins.
I love it. You're going to grow to love it. I can tell. So why? We always, when we bring players on, we never forget the fact that you guys are student athletes. I believe you're majoring in exercise science. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
why don't you talk a little bit about your major and what you're hoping to do and kind of where you see yourself going?
Yeah. So I want to be a physical therapist. I've kind of had that like in my head since like high school, like my sophomore year, I wanted to be a physical therapist, but I'm also kind of maybe athletic trainer as well, but leaning more towards physical therapist right now. The major itself, it's a pretty decently hard major, I think. I've gone through anatomy 1 and anatomy 2. I'm going to do chemistry over the summer, so I'm in the lower division right now, but I'm going to apply for upper division after the summer and get into like the actual exercise science major because I'm in pre-exercise science right now. But I love it. I mean, it's just very interesting to me. I like helping other people, and I just think it'll be another way to just keep me connected with the sport once I get out of college. So, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, I've got complete respect for the rigors of anatomy and physiology. My daughter was in A&P 1 last semester and is in A&P 2 this semester. And her mom helps her study more than I do, but I've been involved in some of that. And I mean, it's just, with the flashcards, label this and knowing what that is. It's insane. I mean, I'm impressed, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm impressed that you're taking that on because I've kind of gotten a little glimpse of how hard that is. And that's not easy. So I take it you've kind of always gravitated more towards science.
Yeah.
Maybe you were the person in high school that liked doing the dissections and stuff like that.
I actually did. It was actually really interesting. We dissected baby pigs, I think is what it was. Yeah, baby pigs, and then like a lamb brain. And it was like we had to like label the stuff inside the brain and like the baby pig, and it was pretty cool. I liked it, but it is kind of weird, I guess. But it was interesting.
It's not weird if you like it, I guess. I mean,
it's not, but saying it, I'm just like, oh, I like that.
Coach Ash and I were history majors, so we didn't carve anything up, did we?
No, absolutely not.
Kevin, you did engineering, but I don't know that you were. I don't know that you were much into life sciences.
No, everything I've studied was stationary and not living.
But he's married to a nurse, so yeah, he gets plenty of that.
I get secondhand stories from that. But.
Yeah, stories from the clinic and from the hospital and stuff like that. That'll probably do it for you. All right, Lena, we've had fun with this. I hope you have. It's not that bad, is it?
No, it's awesome. You guys are awesome. A lot of good questions. I like them. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna let you go get on with your evening. I know you're wanting to go get some supplies, get some groceries for the week, and you've got a big week ahead of you because we're getting to talk to Coach Ash about the schedule coming up, and you guys have got some big games this week. So
it's really exciting.
Yeah, go take care of business, and you can count on seeing those when you go into the circle. There's going to be Nitro tweets.
Nitro. So. Oh yeah. I love it, man. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. I liked it a lot.
All right, thanks for doing it, Lena. I hope everybody back home gets a chance to see this and likes it.
Well, I definitely. My mom's gonna be watching. Don't worry. I'll give you feedback when she texts me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congrats again, Lena.
Thank you so much.
Coach, you get to spend time around people like this all day. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, the games are fun, right? But just the day-to-day stuff has got to be so much fun when you get to hang out with cool folks like that are just they're going places in life.
Yeah, it is. It is really, it's such a fun time of life. They change so much from the time that they step on campus to senior year, that 5th year. And it's, Lena's very much in the thick of that journey. She's only a sophomore. She's got a ton of her career ahead of her. She's already grown tremendously since she stepped on campus in the fall of 2022. And we couldn't be more proud of her. I mean, she's just been a dream to coach and work with. And she's on to really big things, more to come in the program. And then also, if she decides to be a physical therapist or an athletic trainer, or something else. I mean, she's just going to excel. And I'd be remiss to not mention that I actually met Lena's grandparents for the first time this weekend. They were here in Charlotte for the first time watching her pitch since she's been a Niner. They came this weekend, so they got to witness a stellar performance on Saturday night, and it was really cool to meet them. So they're now kind of a lucky charm. They're going to have to come back a lot.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if it works, let's roll with it. Let's keep it going. I mean, we'll find them a place to stay or whatever we need to do, right? Keep that going.
Oh yeah.
So, Coach, let's in the time we've got left here, let's briefly kind of touch on this last week. You got another set of data points about your team. Tallahassee, one set of data points. You had some things that you were pleased with, some things that you needed to work on. And then this weekend you go 2-2, no midweek. You go 2-2. You drop a couple of close contests to Boston, which they're now ranked. And I mean, you may if you're just going off brands, you might go Boston U. Who's that? But college softball people know about what they're capable of, the program they have. But so you've got a pair. You dropped a pair of games to Boston U and won a pair of games against Canisius, including Lena's no hitter. So what do you know about your team now that you've got this second set of data points?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I thought we pitched well. I thought we played great defense. I know I continue to talk about that, but I definitely think we're continuing to do those things really well. And yeah, we split 2-2. We have a ton of respect for Boston, Ashley Waters. They've been down in Charlotte several years in a row now. And they have a great program. They won over 50 games last year. I suspect they're going to do that again. They compete in the Patriot League. I would be shocked if they didn't win the league again this year. They've got a lot of really great talent and returned a lot of their talent this year. With this team. So, we were not surprised that they were as good as they were. They put the ball in play a lot. And I think the highlight for Boston this weekend was Ricard, their pitcher, who threw, obviously, if you're watching, a ton of innings against us, basically 2 full games against our offense. And game 1, I think, was probably the biggest disappointment for us just from an execution performance standpoint. I think struck out 12 times, didn't have really any opportunity to get anything in motion offensively. She was throwing a lot of away pitches. And, now post weekend, we have data on all of those pitches. So we now know how tough it was for our hitters in the box, because she had some really, really good break in several directions on the pitches that she was throwing us. So was really impressed by her. And she just, I think, beat us, to be honest. I mean, sometimes you're going to face pitching that just beats you. And she just beat us. And so we struck out a lot in game 1. And now I think we expanded the zone some. I've talked with our staff. We've talked with the team since Friday's matchup against Boston. We definitely expanded the zone away off of her. I thought they did a much better job against her on Saturday. If you really kind of compare the box scores, what you're going to see on Saturday is that we had 9 walks. We left 12 people on base, which clearly we didn't win. I mean, we obviously needed to make something happen, have a big hit on Saturday to win the game. But I thought that they did make some adjustments between Friday and Saturday. It just didn't end up seeing it on the scoreboard. So had a lot more base runners, didn't expand as much. We walked 9 times in the second game against Boston. And, we just wish them the best and, hope that they have a stellar year. I mean, they're a really good program with great coaching and great players. So, obviously disappointed coming out of the weekend 2-2. But it's a long season. And as you guys know, we play a really tough schedule. And so, we're just going to keep moving and keep learning and keep getting better. That's really kind of our mantra week in and week out. And as you've alluded to, we have a really tough week here in week 3 coming up. So, we've already got our eyes set on Clemson here at the Sioux on Wednesday afternoon. And, then Thursday we'll turn around and make the drive down to Columbia. I've got some really great opponents to play in Columbia over the weekend. So we're really excited moving into week 3.
Coach, you mentioned earlier how impressed you were defensively with your catchers. Offensively, if you look at the stats, you got 2 catchers leading in RBIs, 5 each, with Lexi Winters with 3 homers already on the season. Talk a little bit about the offense from your backstops.
Yeah, definitely highlights for us so far. I've talked a lot about the way that they've caught. I've talked about Winnie at the plate. Reina's just been kind of clutch for us. She's come in big situations and been able to be really productive for us. So I think right now with the way the lineup is designed, when we're not going to catch Winnie, she's our DP. It makes no sense for her not to be. So she's kind of earned a spot in the lineup, whether she's catching or not. And, Winnie and Reina both are catcher onlys. They don't play a secondary position for us. So when Winnie's not catching, she's going to be our DP. And then, it's been really cool to see Reina step up. I mean, as a freshman, especially a freshman catcher, you train them all fall and you kind of throw them out there and see how they're going to handle it. And I think she has caught less like a freshman and more like an experienced sophomore, like Winnie. So I think you're going to continue to see Reina get some at bats. I think kind of giving her a chance to learn as much as possible. Winnie's going to be thrown into the fire all the time at the top of the order. She kind of started in the middle. Actually, I think she started the year, if I look back on the box score, so we put her at the bottom of the order to start the year. And she's just quickly moved up. She was in the 3-hole here before the weekend was over. So she's just swinging a hot bat. I think she's seeing the ball really well and working really hard. But it's never a bad thing to have multiple catchers that are catching really well and hitting really well for you. So we're really thankful for that. And I expect both of them to continue to have a great year. And it's really nice to have 2. So you can take some stress off the body when you need to.
So what can Niner fans look beyond Clemson, talking about going down to South Carolina this weekend, what can Niner fans look for in the way of the challenges that the Niner gals are going to face this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 games against James Madison, historically a really good program. A program a couple years ago was kind of the Cinderella team of the country. They made the College World Series, and all of a sudden everybody knew who James Madison softball was, whether you had not known who they were before, you knew who they were when they made the College World Series. So just a really cool story and a program historically winning their league. They used to be in the Colonial and they have switched over to the Sun Belt, I believe. So they compete in the Sun Belt now with all the conference realignment. So just a program that we expect to always be good. And we've got 2 games against them. And then we've got a South Alabama game. South Alabama is also historically a team that has great pitchers. They've kind of been always known to have good pitching, and a team that has history in the NCAA postseason. So if you look back on, the last decade, they've been to regionals multiple times, winning at large, being at the top of the Sun Belt. They also compete in the Sun Belt. So just kind of 2 really great Sun Belt teams there with James Madison, South Alabama. And then obviously we play South Carolina on Sunday before we come back to Charlotte. We have a lot of history with them over the last few years. We've played them a lot in the fall and in the spring. South Carolina, I think, added some really great arms to their staff in the offseason. They got a couple of really big transfers. If you follow college softball, you probably know who I'm talking about. So I expect South Carolina to be better in the circle this year than they have been in the past few years. We'll be prepared. We'll scout each opponent like we do every single week. And, make sure that we have a game plan going in and that it's clearly communicated to the team and that everyone knows what their, what the vision is, what the goal is, and, play hard when the game starts. But it should be a good weekend. I haven't tapped too much into the weather, but, Columbia is not too far away. It'll take about an hour and a half to get down there. Thursday, we'll go Thursday, middle of the afternoon, and get a good practice in once we get down to Columbia. And, kind of settle in Columbia for the weekend and play hard. So this is a big one for us. And, we've got Clemson coming in on Wednesday. We're very much in the thick of preparation on them yesterday, today, tomorrow with the team. They have the national reigning player of the year and Valerie Cagle. I feel like she's been there a decade. But she returns, obviously a very talented player. They've got other pitchers that have been throwing really well for them the last couple weeks since season has started. And, Clemson is also returning a lot of veteran players that have seen a lot of success for them. So I would characterize them as a veteran experienced team at this point. I'm really excited about playing them at the Sioux. I think it's just really special when you can have the opportunity to compete in a big matchup like that at your home field. So we would love all the support we can get on Wednesday. And I just expect it to be a really intense, really, really good softball game, really intense from the very first pitch when we have a matchup like that at the Sioux. So it's a big week for us.
57 and sunny on Wednesday. So You'll need a hoodie, you'll need a jacket for when the sun goes down, but no rain. So, dress accordingly. Head to the Sioux.
For most people, 57 and sunny is hoodie. You'll be good. No rain. For me, that will be a parka. That will be gloves. That will be hand warmers in my pockets, 57. If it starts with a 5, you can expect that you're going to see me come out of the dugout in the parka. So I don't think that's a surprise to anyone that truly religiously listens to this podcast, because that means you come and see us play. And I am, if it's got a 5 in front of it, I'm usually freezing.
That's until
I'm ready for the early spring. I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, the groundhog predicted early spring. I know we're going to have some 6s in there this week at some point. So I'm ready for the spring weather.
Yeah, it'll be, well, maybe not you, but before you know it, I'll be complaining about it being too hot.
That's not really a thing for me.
Yeah, it is for me. 5s and 6s are good. 7s are good. 8s. And I start getting hot. I'm hot natured, and different strokes for different folks, right? So, Okay. Well, I think we've covered it. I think that we got you set out there, folks. Get to the Sioux on Wednesday. It's your only opportunity to see the Niner Gals this week. So make sure you're out there at the Sioux by 4:00. Like I said earlier, do whatever you got to do. Tell your boss you're sick, whatever it has to be to get on out there and bundle up as you see fit or not, whatever it is you got to do. All right. We want to thank Lena Elkins for making time for us. We hope Nitro West Virginia loves this episode, because we basically did that for y'all. So if you like this, if you've enjoyed watching the show, consider subscribing to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our platform on Spotify. So, hey, subscribe, get notified of new content. If you want to follow Diamond Niner Report on social media, we are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Search Diamond Niner Report on there, and you can find all that good stuff. So that's it for us this week. So this has been Nick, for Kevin, for producer Brad, for Coach Ashley. We'll see you at the Sioux. Bundle up as you will.
See you at the Sioux.